A big group of people just thrown out. Your service, nothing. All these years, and they're just not even a thank you.
This is a bunch of employees. These employees had a job. Notice the past tense because through no fault of their own, they are now unemployed. So keep watching as you'll see why it's important to be cautious about giving your loyalty to an employer. Help us turn JobZombie.com into the ultimate social network that provides strategies to battle employee burnout. Post content, ask questions, learn wealth creation. JobZombie.com is the starting base to survive the employment apocalypse. Go to JobZombie.com and register your free account to become an official member. It's quite obvious that people still drink soda, and Pepsi in particular, as it has a 30% market share in the global soft drink industry. Perhaps people are still drinking this sugar water because they need a coping mechanism that isn't drugs or alcohol. They don't need to fry their brains any more than their jobs already do, and so welcome to a can of Pepsi. As was stated at the beginning that these workers had a job, let's give further context to this statement.
To see grown men and women crying because they don't know where they're going to get their next check, it's sad. It hurts.
Daryl Smith showed up to work at the PepsiCo plant on 51st Street in back of the yards on Monday morning, just like he had for the last 29 years. But the forklift operator and union steward soon learned he and 78 other workers were being let go.
We shut the plants down, get some garbage bags, get your stuff out, and leave.
Employees have described the abrupt decision as a gut-wrenching shock.
It just made it seem like they woke up yesterday like, oh, we're just going to shut down 51st. Like, that's all, because they couldn't answer no questions. They was like, they don't know what's going on.
You think they would be bigger than this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just messed up on the way they did it. I mean, they could have did it way better.
As if the news wasn't bad enough for the employees, they say they were escorted off the property by Chicago police officers.
It was kind of crazy, like, this is how y'all treat like your employees.
Teamsters Local 727 claims the plant closed without any prior warning. But union reps argue that violates the WARN Act, which requires employers with 75 or more full-time employees to give 60 days advance notice of pending plant closures or mass layoffs. This unexpected shutdown has left dozens of workers facing uncertainty about their futures.
A lot of people want to retire from here. A lot of people have put their kids through school here, bought homes. So you got people living from paycheck to paycheck.
Greed within corporations is not a new subject. It's almost certain that inflation will cause prices to rise across the business spectrum. Consumers and some retailers will not tolerate immense price hikes, and Pepsi has been guilty of this for years. It has finally started to cause their growth to stall and thus close down plants as demand for their product decreases. And if plants close, that means people lose jobs. That means people risk losing homes, and the list goes on. How could this be, one might ask, after being so loyal to the company for all these years? Easy. They use you until they don't need you anymore. Fundamentally, there's nothing wrong with that, as they are compensating their employee for a work both parties agreed to. But ethically, some will argue that how the relationship ends are a great failure on the part of many companies, including PepsiCo here. The following interview testifies of this.
I have a daughter in school, I have a house, Come on, y'all can't do people like that. Y'all a big company. At least give us a heads up.
I love this job. I was here early every single day. At 1 o'clock, first vehicle you seen roll through here was my truck. I rolled through here at 1 o'clock, and this was 5 days a week, sometimes 6 days a week, and I don't start till 2 o'clock.
I've never seen something like this. A big company acting this way is deplorable.
Juan Gonzalez was on first shift and had worked here for most of his life.
45 years in 2 minutes. They finished 45 years of my life.
Mr. Gonzalez is one of many that literally spent their life at a job for them to unceremoniously say, "Thanks, but we don't need you anymore." In retrospect, was it all worth it? Perhaps for some, but for the majority of the world, it is just a life of drudgery to reach an apocalyptic end. Now, does that sound enjoyable? People have kids to feed and bills to pay, which is even more of a reason to escape this zombie employment apocalypse. There's no reason to place your dependency in the hands of another entity, as the energy output for their landmarks can easily be redirected towards your own ventures that will provide you better stability and future growth. Employers are using technology to prove that people are replaceable, so it is quite possible that with the closing down of these plants, the production will rely on a bigger use of automation. Pepsi Company may have hinted at this when they said the plan is to optimize the plants by turning them into scaled warehouses. Technological advances through AI will continue to improve drastically, so it cannot be said that the warning to wake up out of your zombie state wasn't given. In fact, we'll give it again by telling you about our free resource entitled The Employment Apocalypse Survival Guide. This is a handy resource that will give you tips and strategies on how to survive life with a job. And as this story outlined, perhaps it may be time for you to move on to start your own venture, so topics like this and several others can be found within this guide. Just click on the registration link in the description box below to receive the details. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can be an official supporter of the Job Zombie movement. And, as always, thanks for watching.